He's sitting in my seat, right? So I'm like, damn, I don't even want to talk to him, but I got to tell this dude to get out my seat. So it's like, I'm like, hey man, you in my seat, you got to get out my seat.
Jeezy said it, or at least that's what the internet is running with. One comment started circulating, and it read, Jeezy would never, he'd stand his ground. The moment that line hit online, right after reports surfaced about Gucci Mane getting pressed and robbed inside a Dallas recording studio, everything kind of froze for a second. Because at that point, it didn't even matter if Jeezy actually said it, or if it was just a fan speaking for him. Those words hit different once you understand the history. When you really know what's been going on between these two Atlanta legends for over 20 years, that statement doesn't feel simple at all. It feels loaded. That's not just light shade. That's reopening something that never fully healed. It's like pointing straight at old tension that's been sitting there for years, just waiting to spark again. And now, everything is rising back to the surface in a major way. Because this situation goes deeper than just rumors about Pooh Shiesty pressuring Gucci Mane into signing papers during a tense moment. It's bigger than the talk about Big 30 holding things down at the studio while everything got chaotic in Dallas. This is about Gucci Mane himself. The same Gucci who built his reputation on surviving tough situations, moving smart, and staying 10 steps ahead, now being caught off guard by people close to him. And the second the news dropped, one name immediately started trending again like clockwork: Jeezy. You need to hear this, because once you start connecting everything, the 2005 situation, the legal drama, the diss tracks, the tension that never really faded, and now this latest moment, you start seeing the full picture. This isn't random. This has been building for 2 decades, and now it's hitting a whole different level. Let's break it down. To understand why people instantly brought Jeezy's name back up after what reportedly went down in Dallas in 2026, you have to rewind all the way to the beginning. Early 2000s Atlanta, when trap music was just starting to take over, and 2 names were right in the center of it all. Roderick Davis, known as Gucci Mane, and Jay Jenkins, known as Young Jeezy. Now here's the part a lot of people overlook. These two weren't always enemies. At one point, they were actually working together. Jeezy reached out to Gucci for a collab, and that's how the track Icy was created. Gucci was still on the rise, while Jeezy already had serious attention and was preparing for his major debut with Def Jam. Jeezy had a clear vision. He saw Icy as a key record for his album, Let's Get It, Thug Motivation 101, and believed it was something they both agreed on. In his mind, this was a joint move meant to push everything forward. But it didn't go that way. Gucci Mane took that same track, Icy, and turned it into the lead single for his own project, Trap House, released through Big Cat Records. That changed everything instantly. And it didn't stop there. Jeezy later claimed
hey man,
he never got—
you got to get out my seat, but he see who it is. He like, well, I'm sitting in the same seat. Can you sit in mine? I'm like, nah, I can't sit in your seat. You just got to get up. That was the conversation we had prior.
Damn! If there would have been anybody else.
Record, not even a single dollar. Think about that for a second. Recording a track you believe will introduce your major label debut, only to watch it launch someone else's rise instead. Jeezy didn't respond with contracts or legal action. He responded the way he always does, through his music. On his track, Stay Strapped, he dropped a line that wasn't subtle at all. He basically put a price on Gucci's chain, saying he'd give 10 stacks to anyone who could take it if they saw him in their city. Think about that for a second. That's not just rap talk. That's a bold message being sent publicly. It instantly raised the tension and made everything feel way more serious than just music. Gucci heard it loud and clear, and he didn't stay quiet. He fired back with a track called Round 1, and even the title alone told you everything. He already saw where this was heading, like this wasn't ending anytime soon. At that point, the tone had fully shifted. The respect was gone, the back and forth was out in the open, and 2 of Atlanta's biggest rising names were now locked into something deeper than just songs. What started as a disagreement over a record was turning into something nobody wanted to see go too far. But it did. Now this is where everything changes and you really have to follow closely. This part moves beyond music and into real-life consequences. Back in May 2005, Gucci Mane was at a woman's house just spending time when several individuals forced their way inside. According to reports, the situation quickly escalated and things got out of control. Gucci reacted to protect himself during the confrontation, and in the chaos, one of the individuals involved, Henry Lee Clark III, also known as Pookie Lock, lost his life. Later, reports stated that his body was found behind Columbia Middle School in Decatur, Georgia. This moment right here changed everything, turning a heated music rivalry into something much heavier with lasting consequences people still talk about today. Now here's the part that really had everyone talking. Pookie Lock wasn't just some random person. He was actually connected to Jeezy's label, Corporate Thugs Entertainment, CTE. That detail alone made everything feel much bigger, and people immediately started asking serious questions. Was Jeezy involved in any way? Was that earlier line about the chain connected to what happened? Was this tied back to the whole Icy situation? The rumors spread fast, and the conversation got intense real quick. Gucci Mane turned himself in to DeKalb County authorities on May 20th, 2005, just days before his debut album was set to drop. On that same day, he was released on bond, and Trap House still dropped while everything was unfolding. From there, he made a phone call and spoke out, saying, "I just want to let everyone know I'm not a murderer. I was upset, I was scared a little bit, but I had to do what I had to do. You gotta be a man about it. I'm not a bad person. I have remorse for everything that happened." At the same time, Jeezy responded publicly and pushed back on the narrative. He said Gucci was trying to turn a serious situation into album promotion and denied having any connection to what took place. He also made it clear he had nothing to do with Pookie Lock being there that night. Eventually, the case against Gucci Mane was dropped due to insufficient evidence, and an eyewitness supported his claim that he acted in self-defense. Legally, he was cleared, but that didn't erase what happened. Because even when charges go away, the story doesn't just disappear. That moment stayed with both of them, and with the culture too, leaving behind questions, tension, and a history that people still bring up to this day. And both of them knew that history wasn't going anywhere. That's what makes the situation between Jeezy and Gucci so different from almost every other rap rivalry out there. It never really ended. It would cool off for a while, then suddenly heat right back up like nothing changed, again and again for over 15 years. Gucci went through a lot during that time. He spent periods locked up, dealing with legal issues like possession charges, altercations, and probation violations. By 2014, he was sentenced on federal firearms-related charges and didn't come home until 2016. But even through all that, the tension never disappeared. It stayed alive through the music. Every so often, Gucci would drop a line, or Jeezy would respond in his own way, and instantly people were reminded this situation was still unresolved. Then came 2020 and Verzuz. If you don't know, Verzuz was created by Swizz Beatz and Timbaud during the pandemic, bringing artists together to go hit for hit with their biggest songs. And somehow, they made the impossible happen. Gucci Mane and Jeezy in the same room, live in Atlanta. People couldn't believe it. There was real uncertainty about whether both of them would even show up, and even more tension about what might happen once they did. These weren't just two artists sharing a stage. This felt bigger, like a high-stakes meeting nobody fully trusted, and you could feel that energy immediately. Gucci came out first and didn't waste time. He opened with a brand new diss track aimed directly at Jeezy. He didn't step on that stage to ease into classics. He came in making a statement right away. From the jump, it felt like he was setting a tone, not just performing. And then it got even more intense. At one point during the event, Gucci played The Truth, a diss track where he references Jeezy's late friend, Pookie Lock. He stood there face to face with Jeezy and let that record play in front of millions watching live. You could feel the tension through the screen. Gucci's reaction said everything without him saying much at first. He stood up, leaned over to speak to his manager, and you could tell the moment was heavy. But instead of escalating it, Jeezy shifted the energy and tried to move things towards some kind of understanding. Gucci held his stance. He reminded him they agreed to keep things real and stayed in his lane throughout the night. Still, by the end of it all, something unexpected happened. They performed Icy together on that same stage. The crowd went crazy. People were shocked. The moment even felt emotional, like history was being rewritten right in front of everyone. For a second, it looked like maybe, just maybe, all that tension from the past was finally settling down. But here's what people miss. Sharing a stage doesn't erase serious history.
A performance doesn't wipe away years of tension or everything that was said and done. Two people can stand side by side and still carry all of it with them. And that's exactly why when news came out about Gucci Mane being caught up in a serious situation in Dallas in January 2026, Jeezy's name started trending almost instantly. Not because there was proof, but because that history runs deep. And that's not something small. That's 20 years of tension that never really disappeared, still hanging in the air. Now, let's really break down what reportedly happened in 2026, because the details here are intense and you need the full picture to understand it. January 10th, 2026, Gucci Mane arrives in Dallas, Texas. He's not alone either. He's with his head of security and two other people from the music industry. Everything at this point looks like normal business, nothing unusual. The meeting itself was set up by Pooh Shiesty, an artist signed to Gucci's 1017 label since 2021. Pooh had only recently been released in October 2025 after serving time related to a firearm case out of Miami. Gucci even showed public support when he got out, welcoming him back, which makes what reportedly happened next feel even more unexpected. The whole point of the meeting was supposed to be about Pooh's contract. He wasn't happy with his deal and wanted changes. Normally, situations like that get handled through conversations, legal teams, or structured negotiations. That's the standard route in the industry. But according to reports, things didn't go that way. Instead, this situation took a completely different turn. The studio session was scheduled around 3:15 p.m., and that's when things started to shift. It's been reported that 8 additional individuals traveled from Memphis to Dallas connected to this situation. That alone raised eyebrows because it suggested this wasn't random, it looked planned. Then, around 3:40 p.m., a group entered the building and headed straight toward the control room where Gucci and his team were inside watching a football game. Gucci reportedly started feeling like something wasn't right and suggested they could just reschedule the session, but Pooh Shiesty asked to talk with him one-on-one inside the recording room. Gucci agreed and stepped in, and that's when everything shifted instantly. Inside that room with Pooh Shiesty, his father, Radrick Williams Sr., and rapper Big 30, whose real name is Rodney Wright, the energy changed fast, and things reportedly got tense quick. According to reports, Pooh Shiesty pulled out contract termination papers and told Gucci to sign. Gucci didn't fold at first, he stood firm on his position, but then things escalated even further. Prosecutors say Pooh Shiesty reached into a bag and pulled out what was described as a black AK-style firearm, pointed it directly at Gucci and demanded he sign the paperwork. Under that kind of pressure, Gucci eventually signed, but even then, it didn't stop there. While all of this was happening inside the recording room, reports say others in the building were also being confronted. Several individuals were threatened and personal belongings like wallets and jewelry were taken. One person was reportedly grabbed by behind and nearly lost consciousness during the struggle, showing just how serious things had gotten. On top of that, items like Gucci's wedding ring, watch, earrings, and cash were taken. The situation was also recorded, capturing him signing the documents and verbally agreeing to the release. Then, in an even more surprising detail, it's reported that Pooh's father checked the paperwork and said it needed a date, leading to Gucci being told to go back and add it next to his signature. The entire situation reportedly lasted just over an hour, but here's where everything really started to fall apart. In the hours after it happened, several of the suspects went on social media and began showing off items believed to be taken during the incident.
Watches, jewelry, chains, all being posted openly like nobody was watching. One person even went live wearing a chain that prosecutors say was tied to the situation. That kind of attention only made things worse because it created a digital trail that was hard to ignore. From there, investigators started putting everything together quickly. Reports say ankle monitor data placed one of the individuals at the scene, while license plate readers tracked vehicles traveling from Memphis to Dallas. On top of that, fingerprints found on items inside the studio helped connect multiple people to the location. As the investigation moved forward, the evidence kept stacking up in a way that made the case extremely strong before it even reached court. It wasn't just one detail, it was everything lining up at once. By April 1, 2026, 8 of the 9 suspects had been taken into custody. The 9th, Terrence Rogers, was later located and arrested by authorities in Atlanta. After that, everyone involved was hit with serious federal charges tied to the incident. Each person is now facing the possibility of major prison time if convicted, showing just how serious this situation became. And the moment these charges were announced on April 2, 2026, the internet reacted instantly. People online went straight into detective mode, trying to connect everything, and almost immediately, Jeezy's name started popping up again. Not because of anything current, but because of that history going all the way back to 2005 that people still haven't let go of. And this is where things get even more interesting, because once Jeezy's name started trending again, the internet didn't just stop at comments. People started building full theories, connecting past moments to current headlines like it was all part of one long storyline. You had some saying this was just history repeating itself, pointing back to everything that happened years ago. Others were quick to shut that down, saying there's no real evidence linking Jeezy to anything happening now. But that didn't slow things down. If anything, it made the conversation even louder. That's the power of a past like this. When two major figures have a history this deep, every new situation gets viewed through that same lens. It doesn't matter how much time passes, people remember the details, the moments, the tension, and they bring it all back instantly. At the same time, there were voices calling for logic, reminding everyone that speculation isn't proof. Just because names get mentioned together doesn't mean there's an actual connection today. Still, once a narrative starts online, it spreads fast and takes on its own life, and that's exactly what happened here. Within hours, timelines were filled with old clips, interviews, diss tracks, and past moments being reposted like they just happened yesterday. It turned into a full recap of everything these two have been through. Not long after everything started trending, 50 Cent was one of the first big names to speak on it. He posted about the situation publicly and even brought up the Pookie Lock incident from nearly 20 years ago. The G-Unit general basically reminded everyone that Gucci has faced serious situations before, adding that Atlanta has always moved a certain way. Then you had Rick Ross stepping in, and his take actually caught people off guard. Ross said he didn't support what happened on either side. He made it clear that Gucci deserved that situation, but also pointed out that business disagreements should be handled professionally, not turned into something dangerous. That right there hit different, because it added real perspective. Meanwhile, Waka Flocka Flame, someone with history tied to Gucci, made his stance clear too. Even though they haven't always seen eye to eye, Waka said he wasn't celebrating anything that happened. He also shut down any talk trying to link him to the situation, making it clear he had nothing to do with it. And across social media, Hip Hop DX, Twitter, Instagram, one phrase kept popping up again and again: Jeezy would never. Some people were giving Jeezy credit based on his reputation, others were comparing past situations to now, and some were clearly revisiting old history that never really faded. The connection to Jeezy was impossible to ignore, and yet Jeezy himself stayed completely silent.
No posts, no comments, no reaction at all. And depending on how you look at it, that silence spoke loudly on its own. Now here's the part people keep hinting at but don't always say directly. A big part of Gucci Mane's image was built around what happened back in 2005 when he survived a serious situation and defended himself. That moment, as heavy as it was, became a major part of how people viewed him for years.
He referenced it in his music, spoke on it in interviews, and even brought it up during that Verzuz moment in front of millions watching live. It became tied to his reputation, something people associate with his name every time these conversations come up. Fast forward to January 2026, and now you've got a completely different situation being reported. People close to him inside a studio, multiple individuals involved, and him being pressured into signing documents. That contrast is what has everyone talking. But let's keep this real and fair. This isn't about criticizing someone for making it out of a dangerous situation. When you're surrounded and dealing with that kind of pressure, making the safest choice possible is what matters most. That's not weakness, that's thinking clearly and staying alive. And Gucci Mane today isn't the same person from back then. He's grown, focused on family, stability, and a different lifestyle. That evolution is real. Jeezy's name didn't come out of nowhere. It came up because hip-hop doesn't forget. The culture holds on to everything, every moment, every headline, every past situation. It's like a timeline that never resets, always ready to bring old history right back up. So when Gucci Mane ends up in a serious situation tied to a contract issue and someone says Jeezy would never, there's a deeper meaning behind that. What they're really saying is that even after 20 years, people are still debating who stands firm and who doesn't. That narrative is still being shaped in real time. But there's another layer here that goes beyond just personal history. The situation involving Pooh Shiesty highlights something bigger about the music industry itself. Situations like this often come from artists feeling stuck in deals they don't fully understand or feel like they can't escape. Now let's be clear, handling something with threats or pressure is never the right move, and the legal consequences tied to that are serious. That part isn't up for debate. At the same time, the frustration that can build in those situations is something the industry can't keep ignoring. When artists feel like they don't have options, things can spiral in the worst ways. That's a deeper issue that needs real attention. Gucci Mane played a role in helping Pooh Shiesty's career. He brought him in when Memphis had momentum, supported him, and even showed public love when he came home. So for things to reportedly fall apart like this, it raises real questions. What really happened behind the scenes with that label situation? That's the part nobody has fully explained yet, and it's got people wondering what led things here. On top of that, Gucci Mane has stayed completely silent. No press release, no live session, no public statement at all. Just silence. And that's unusual for someone who's never had a problem speaking his mind, especially in big moments. This is the same person who played a Pookie Lock diss track during Verzuz while looking his longtime rival right in the eyes. So for him to say nothing now, it makes people feel like this situation hit on a completely different level. This wasn't music talk, this was real life, and that changes everything. And then you look at Jeezy on the other side, a reputation built over decades as someone who stands firm, who lets actions and music speak for him. And now in 2026, he's completely silent too. But his silence feels different. It's like he doesn't even need to respond, because the history between them already says enough. The comparisons were always going to happen. The moment news broke about Gucci, people instantly went back in time. That's just how the culture works. It connects dots fast, pulling past and present together like it's all one long story. And that's really what this is about. Not just Gucci versus Jeezy, not just 1017 versus CTE, but a 20-year timeline shaped by business, loyalty, and pride, all colliding in an environment where every move carries weight. Because at the end of the day, the most intense situations in hip-hop aren't just about music or performances. They come from real-life decisions and real-life consequences that stick long after the moment passes. And this is where everything really comes together. Because when you step back and look at the full picture, this story isn't just about one moment, one headline, or one situation. It's about patterns. It's about how quickly things can shift when business, personal relationships, and pressure all collide at once. One minute it's a partnership, the next minute it's tension, and then suddenly it turns into something nobody expected. What makes this even heavier is how public everything becomes. every move, every rumor, every reaction gets analyzed in real time. People aren't just watching, they're judging, comparing, and bringing up the past like it just happened yesterday. And in situations like this, perception starts to matter just as much as reality. What people believe, what they replay, what they choose to focus on, that shapes the narrative moving forward, whether it's accurate or not. At the same time, there's a bigger lesson sitting underneath all of this. The music industry can look glamorous on the surface, but behind the scenes, it's still business at the end of the day. Contracts, agreements, expectations. If those aren't handled clearly, things can fall apart fast. And when communication breaks down, situations can escalate in the worst ways. That's a deeper issue that needs real attention. Gucci Mane played a role in helping Pooh Shiesty's career. He brought him in when Memphis had momentum, supported him, and even showed public love when he came home. So for things to reportedly fall apart like this, it raises real questions. What really happened behind the scenes with that label situation? That's the part nobody has fully explained yet, and it's got people wondering what led things here. On top of that, Gucci Mane has stayed completely silent. No press release, no live session, no public statement at all. Just silence. And that's unusual for someone who's never had a problem speaking his mind, especially in big moments. This is the same person who played a Pookie Lock diss track during Verzuz while looking his longtime rival right in the eyes. So for him to say nothing now, it makes people feel like this situation hit on a completely different level. This wasn't music talk, this was real life, and that changes everything. And then you look at Jeezy on the other side, a reputation built over decades as someone who stands firm, who lets actions and music speak for him. And now in 2026, he's completely silent too. But his silence feels different. It's like he doesn't even need to respond, because the history between them already says enough. The comparisons were always going to happen. The moment news broke about Gucci, people instantly went back in time. That's just how the culture works. It connects dots fast, pulling past and present together like it's all one long story. And that's really what this is about. Not just Gucci versus Jeezy, not just 1017 versus CTE, but a 20-year timeline shaped by business, loyalty, and pride, all colliding in an environment where every move carries weight. Because at the end of the day, the most intense situations in hip-hop aren't just about music or performances. They come from real-life decisions and real-life consequences that stick long after the moment passes. And this is where everything really comes together. Because when you step back and look at the full picture, this story isn't just about one moment, one headline, or one situation. It's about patterns. It's about how quickly things can shift when business, personal relationships, and pressure all collide at once. One minute it's a partnership, the next minute it's tension, and then suddenly it turns into something nobody expected. What makes this even heavier is how public everything becomes. Every move, every rumor, every reaction gets analyzed in real time. People aren't just watching, they're judging, comparing, and bringing up the past like it just happened yesterday. And in situations like this, perception starts to matter just as much as reality. What people believe, what they replay, what they choose to focus on, that shapes the narrative moving forward, whether it's accurate or not. At the same time, there's a bigger lesson sitting underneath all of this. The music industry can look glamorous on the surface, but behind the scenes, it's still business at the end of the day. Contracts, agreements, expectations. If those aren't handled clearly, things can fall apart fast. And when communication breaks down, situations can escalate in the worst ways. That's a deeper issue that needs real attention. Gucci Mane played a role in helping Pooh Shiesty's career. He brought him in when Memphis had momentum, supported him, and even showed public love when he came home. So for things to reportedly fall apart like this, it raises real questions. What really happened behind the scenes with that label situation? That's the part nobody has fully explained yet, and it's got people wondering what led things here. On top of that, Gucci Mane has stayed completely silent. No press release, no live session, no public statement at all. Just silence. And that's unusual for someone who's never had a problem speaking his mind, especially in big moments. This is the same person who played a Pookie Lock diss track during Verzuz while looking his longtime rival right in the eyes. So for him to say nothing now, it makes people feel like this situation hit on a completely different level. This wasn't music talk, this was real life, and that changes everything. And then you look at Jeezy on the other side, a reputation built over decades